Hello and welcome to Family Conversations, a podcast dedicated to discussing issues relating to Zambian families. My name is Rose Mwandila and I will be your host today. We're discussing a topic that is in almost everybody's home, a silent killer actually sometimes of families, but we don't want to talk about it. And I am joined by two phenomenal guests. On my left is Sheikh Yussuf Ayami. He is the team leader at Family Development Initiatives. And on my right, I am joined by Mr. Felix Ngosa, who's the Director of Programs and Partnerships at Family Development Initiatives. I'm so excited to have you both on the podcast. You're very welcome.
We're honored to be hosted on your phenomenal show.
Thank you so much.
She introduced us as a phenomenal guest.
Because you are. I think you are.
We go it a phenomenal show, indeed.
Yeah.
No, thank you for hosting us.
Sure.
Thank you. I introduced you guys as phenomenal because one, I think you're doing such amazing work at Family Development Initiatives. If you don't know what that is, go look it up. But also, I mean, I know a bit about your history and just where the organization has come. And I thought the topic would be best suited for you guys because black tax is something that many people, they say it holds them back from being able to achieve things. So they say, no, by now, sembenamanga nyumba, but I had to send all of my money back home for school fees. Or I have so many loans on my payroll because I had to get loans in order to support my family. And I know you guys are directors, even one day I'll be director, just not today. Yeah, directors and team leaders. What are your thoughts on black tax?
Well, I mean, just to pick it up from where you left from, like when you say, somebody says that, I mean, by now I would have built a house if I hadn't helped, my siblings or my relatives, this whole conversation around black tax. Mm-hmm. I think it's a sad reality that we live in, because I think for me it's got connotations of exploitation. Mm-hmm. So I think let's be very clear. I think as a people, not just Africans, as a people, this element of Ubuntu is in us. Yeah. Regardless of which part of the world you come from. It's only that, over time and given the different dynamics that are happening at that particular time, things change. Yeah. So for example, I mean, like if we bring it, back home, we've got this issue of like where not so long ago, almost everybody, are connected to us. Like my father or my grandfather, they used to live in rural settings. Yeah. Okay. Where communal living was the thing. Like, so if you went to my village, and I'm sure, Mr. Ngosa is going to tell you that, we've got a situation where we live together. Like, I will introduce you to somebody who I would call my sister, but they are not my biological sister. I mean, they are my sister in the sense that my father, the brother, that's the child, but we were living together, and so you have a situation where, women sleep, on their own, and men sleep on their own, and you grow up as brothers, and you call each other as such, your brothers and everything. Yeah. Now, that worked well because, we depended very much on agriculture. So you needed to have as many children as possible, but there needed to be like solidarity so that you have enough labor and that kind of stuff. And so we migrate into town. Yeah. So we continue living like that. And my brother, my sister, and we help each other because that's the way we have been. Yeah. But you see, in town, things are different. Because now you are not depending on your labor, as in like what manual, you grow, actual, maize. And so you have like, a stack, you depend on your salary. Yeah. And there's so much that you can buy out of your salary because it's limited. Yeah. And so when somebody comes to you and asks for help, we are going back like the rural setting. Yeah. We are now in town. It's normal for you to help. Yeah, of course. But then my helping them, my understanding is that I'm helping them, because I'm pushing them. Yeah. But I'm not being now seen as their source of income. As in like then it becomes a monthly, habit or a yearly habit. So that for me, that's where the problem of black tax is, like where somebody's ask for support, and my genuine desire to help them, is now being exploited to look like I'm a fool, that I'm going to, continuously help them. Yeah. And it's wrong. And also what is wrong is that not only is it like, a weekly, monthly, yearly thing, But also it's the kinds of things that people are asking us to help them in. Like, how can you come to somebody and say you need help because you're going to buy somebody's, a cake for somebody's birthday,
it's
somebody's
a
kid's birthday. No, I mean,
for a child.
no, I mean, wait a minute. I mean, like, if you're going to come to me for support, it should be supporting something that is going to push you, in life. But not something, so I buy you a cake today. So who's going to buy your birthday, your birthday cake or your kids, birthday cake tomorrow?
How come again?
The birthday comes. Yeah.
That's so true.
Indeed, and it's interesting. We call it black tax. So it's Black Friday and anything that has a black.
Black Friday is good.
As a black thing seems to have a very negative connotation. But I think you also need to look at it from a historical perspective of where we come from, because I am who I am because. Because of people that helped me. So how do we also nurture that? Because sometimes, and that's where I think maybe the African continent and the race we've thrown who we are. Yeah. Like, who are we and how have we lived in the past? Because we are so much in a hurry to become westernized. Yeah. So they always, Theo talked about the Ubuntu. Where I am because you are, we are together. And that brought us together, brought families together in one or another. But I think what is important is to know when is it becoming exploitative or when is it enough in a way. Like I went to school. My sisters paid for my school fees. But I don't want to have to feel like I should be guilty.
But
like,
then
like I used to have to
do
pay
you now
them back.
owe taking your sister's kids to school?
No, I'm not. She continues taking them to school herself because I set that boundary that yes, you took care of me, but right now you are in a position where you can take care of yourself.
So you set the boundary. That's very interesting. You said you set the boundary. But I think for so many people, especially young people, right? Let's say I come from, I'll just say it's maybe like Kanyama, right? I come from Kanyama and maybe my village people will move to Kanyama and all of them have pooled resources in order to support me and I'm the only one that's made it out, right? And let's say now I'm doing good. This is my first job. I have my 6,000-7,000 kwacha salary. But now, because they put resources to support me, they expect me not to support them and their kids. So now how do you respectfully, obviously without saying, because you appreciate the work that they did and you wouldn't be where you are without their support. So how do you, I guess, respectfully put that boundary while you're trying to also just get on your feet, but also find ways to support them? I think it's this idea of putting boundaries. I think boundaries is something that are very difficult, especially for many young, I guess both males and females in Zambia were very, I don't know what, the nature of our relationships, we let people step on us a lot.
No, but let's get back to what Mr. Ngosa mentioned, which is very key to the question that you're putting across. When he was helped to go to school, the sister never helped him so that then it's an expectation that he should again help her. No. The sister helped because, it's part of our DNA as Africans to help each other. But then, I'm helping you, I'm not expecting that you're going to help me. But it is now Mr. Ngosa to be like, oh no, I've gone to school, I'm responsible, I've become an independent person. Now, in the whole scheme of things, there is my sister and myself. So if there was 8 of us, instead of just having a sister, one sister and 7 of us depend on my sister. Now there's 2 of us and 6 are depending on 2. You understand? So now Mr. Ngosa is going to marry, he's going to have his kids. He has got an obligation to take care of his kids.
His family,
But however, he continues seeing himself as part of the 8. So there is 2. So him, together with a sister, might go ahead and help another sibling, who Mr. Ngosa might want to bring to his house, because he's just married, and he's got young kids. And the sister might also want to get another sibling. They might even get 2. But when he gets 2, he's not getting them as in like he's paying back the sister. But it should be out of...
For the holistic growth of the family.
The family. So now what has happened? From the 8, there's 2 people that have become independent.
Yeah.
You know, he has gotten 2
Yeah.
out of the 6 that are remaining, and the sister has probably gotten another 1 out of, you know, the 6 that are remaining. So now you have 2 plus this one that has been gotten, and those 2, so it's 5 that have been removed.
Yeah.
So now, in the main family, you've got only 3 that are remaining. You know, there.
Yeah.
Whilst these 2 are being, you know, supported.
Yeah.
If we look at it from that perspective, then we are building solidarity that moves the family
forward
out of poverty.
Okay.
You know, like it now becomes a virtuous cycle. But imagine a situation where, you know, like Mr. Ngosa is helped. After being helped, then the sister also stops doing whatever she was doing.
Because now you become the focal point.
Now help.
Yeah.
Then out of the 8, instead of you having 2 people that are now supporting, you still have gone to the default setting, which is like one person, which now in this case is so you're just exchanging roles, and that for me in itself again is not a good way, or you know, if you really want to move out as a family and become, you know, self-sufficient.
It is, and I think that's the biggest issue. What maybe you can coin it into the black tax issue. It is when people help, and that is there. There are people who say, "But I took you to school.
Exactly.
You'll be nothing if it was
without
not
me.
for
Exactly.
without me."
Exactly.
And I think that's where the concept of black tax becomes very relevant. And I still said earlier, if you are going to do a strategic investment in your siblings, but you're not expecting that they should take care
of your children.
I was in Kabwe with Tia, we were attending a meeting on something. And I went to see my sister because she stays in Kabwe. And I found one of my nieces who just got employed as a nurse 3 months ago. And I said, "Hey, Gwen, I've not even received anything from your salary." She's like, "Yeah, uncle," because I kept going. She was in my house. Like, "No, uncle, I'm buying things for my house." And it seemed, you could see how she looked guilty. "No, you're on my list." And I said, no, I'm just joking.
I'm just joking.
Because right now, I'm able to buy my meal. I can pay school fees. What we need is that more of you now can be independent. The more you're more independent, the more I know that when that time comes, maybe we need to support your grandmother. It will not be my burden alone. I'll be like, those who are working, can we put 100 kwacha we send to your grandmother? Because right now, it is me and my 4 siblings that are contributing to keep our mother. But as all of you are beginning to become independent, then we can say, can you join the bandwagon so that the pressure is reduced, but not to expect that now your uncle, I kept you were in my house for until grade 12, so where's your salary, give me. But it's about and you could see that that's the information we need to be getting out there and reaching out, because there are people, you know, those ones by Ayama.
I'm bringing it back home. You've said the uncle, right? Sometimes so I'm going to ask a question. Gwen is lucky that you actually don't have expectations. But let's say there's Jane now. And Jane is in the home, in the family, and you know, maybe things are okay and the dad is working and things like that. And maybe Jane makes it out. And then eventually the father keeps having children and children and children with the expectation, no, but this is real life. With the expectation that now Jane will come and take care of the rest. And his responses are, I have done my part, it is now yours. What would you tell, like, Jane, you know? Obviously those are her siblings, or maybe it's Jane and John. Those are his siblings and those are her siblings. But to now expect a 22, 23, 4-year-old to start taking care of 6, 7 siblings that the father was just having because Jane went to school, Jane will sort it out. You know, with that, Jane is trying to figure, like, what would she then do?
Well, I mean, those are, unfortunately, those are realities. I mean, like, people are living those, actually, even as we are speaking right now. You know, there could be a family, there is a family outside there that is discussing the same issues. Like, you know, people are frustrated. And I know of people that actually have started avoiding going to their parents' places because every time they go there, there's always going to be a problem.
Exactly.
You know, and And I think this is something that we need to raise in platforms like this one, conversations like this one.
Yeah.
But also as a family, if you are blessed to have a leader, whether it's the firstborn or an uncle, even the secondborn, but you've got a leader who's able to rally the family around the very things that we're talking about. So look, daddy, mommy, we're here to support you and everything. Yeah. But look, let everybody take responsibility and do their part. Because it's really, in my opinion, very unfair that even my own father should allow me to carry his burden. He's got responsibility. Yeah. Yes, I've got responsibilities towards him.
Yeah, of course.
We are people here of faith also.
Yeah.
So in whatever we do, we usually have an obligation, like we are informed by our different, faith traditions. From an Islamic perspective, my obligation as, a son, is to my parents, but not to my siblings. So, we've got this whole concept of zakat, for example, which is charity.
Yeah.
Okay? I cannot give charity to my father and my mother, my parents. No. The taking care of them is my obligation. Just like I cannot give charity to my wife or my children. My taking care of my wife and my children is my obligation. So in this case, it is my father's obligation to take care of his children.
And his family.
But yes, it is my obligation to take care of him. Originally he's supposed to take care of me.
Yeah.
But here I am, I'm saying now I've become independent, I've got a job and everything. So don't take care of me. Yeah. Take care of my siblings. But I will take care of you. But now when he begins now saying, no, you should also take care of your siblings, from what I've just said, that is wrong. Because then he is abdicating his responsibilities. So that's the way it can be addressed. If it's discussed like that within the context of a family. Yeah. So in my own family, those are discussions that if such a situation happened, we would be able to discuss and say, no, but I appreciate you wanting me to help my siblings, and I'm going to help, to the extent possible, but it should not be an obligation. My obligation is you, my father, and my mother.
But how do you have these conversations in the family? So how do you even have the guts, and I'll call it audacity, because some people say, Anambo Funta, she speaks to her father like that, to even just go and sit down and call the family as, because many a time it's the younger people, and say, okay, listen, this is the situation, and this is my capacity and not my capacity, without first of all them thinking you're ungrateful, but then also them you having to feel shame and carry that shame of oh, now I'm letting down my family. How do you sit down with the family and have that conversation with them? What tips and tricks? Yeah, you guys do that, but
yes,
how?
Before Mr. Ngosa comes in, I think you see, again, it's very important that first and foremost, the approach, that you take in discussing issues, should be very respectful, but also very strategic. I usually try to tell people that I try to be very strategic in whatever I do. And I would encourage everybody. Just this conversation that we have, should be seen in the light of a particular strategy, whether it's at a personal level, at an organizational level. So it's the same. If I approach that conversation with my dad, my mother, or with my siblings from a strategic point of view, I've got no doubt that they will understand. Of course, it might be difficult, but they will understand. And if they do not understand, again, I'm basing it on my faith, the Islamic faith. I will not feel guilty that my father feels that I'm not helping my siblings, because like I've told you, it is not my obligation to help my siblings. I will help them. If they decide to use the help I'm giving them to help my siblings, that's fine. But I'm not going to, la yukallifullahu nafsan, that's what we say in Islamic terms. God does not place a burden on somebody over and above that they cannot carry. I am not just going to say for the sake of these are my siblings and everything, help them whilst I'm drowning. No, I will put limits. I will take care of my issues, but whilst taking care of the issues of my father and my mother, because I've got obligation to my children, I've got obligation to my wife.
Are those your sentiments too, Mr. Ngosa?
A bit. I might have some point of departure. You see, Tio was talking about what he would say.
Yeah.
If you ask him, he's educated, his brothers are educated, they've gone to school, they are doing well. So the setup sometimes, maybe even in an educated family and a less educated family, the dynamics are a bit different.
We're the only educated one.
Like for me, I was like my parents were educated. My father was an engineer, my mother was working as a nurse.
In the 1990s.
So he was among the first engineers in the. So he was educated, and this has been easy. Like me and my father could talk. We would not talk. The relationship we had was not like I'm coming here and with my tail between my legs. No, exactly. I came to Dad to have conversation.
Exactly.
We'll talk to him about challenges. We'll talk to him about these days the way you are dealing with mom is not good.
Yeah.
So that conversation was there, and because he had gone to school and was able to reason. Yeah. But can you imagine you have a father who was a standard 2, who just thought they are investing in children.
Exactly.
They are having children because they said we want our children to take care of us. That's their way out of poverty. And they are living out there in Shango.
Exactly.
Exactly. It is a whole different conversation.
Where the girl child, for example, can even
understand this. There were fathers when we were growing up. My friends would tell me, "How do you sit with your father like that?" Because their fathers, when he enters, their children come. So when do you even start telling him to say, I'm not going to take care of your children? That's true. He'll curse you in every way. And because we are also very spiritual, we are religious people, we don't even want to hear the word being cursed. When your father curses you, something goes, you just have a normal accident. It's my father's cursing. So the different setups.
That's true. That's
and the Zambian, we are not very highly urbanized. So we are still very rural, and there are many things that we have to deal with at that perspective. So I think there are some shifts, but there are still families that are very traditional, that are very strong.
I like that you brought up that aspect of traditional, very strong, very cultural. I'm quite lucky that my dad and I can go head to head. Like we can even butt heads and tomorrow we'll still call each other, right? And I'm fortunate we can talk about almost anything and have those conversations. But like you said, there are many people that like the moment you hear that your father is coming, you're shivering. Like literally shivering, right? So then your father says, no, do this and this and this. Just his mere sight sends shivers down your spine. How do you now start saying no? He will tell you, I sold all these cattle for you. Now you want to do this to me. Who do you think you... Like, how does that person... Like, even maybe just slowly, it could be maybe not even having the conversation with their particular parents, but maybe within themselves, how do they slowly start to... Not, maybe the word protect is not the right word, but how do they start, maybe protect themselves and start building up themselves, or maybe slowly still being able to adhere to the dad, or do they completely now cut off the family for a certain period of time? Because again, we're trying to preserve the family unit. And I think everybody wants to have a place where they can call home and still go back home without feeling like just because you've made it Munambo somewhere, you don't talk to us, you don't call us anymore.
No, I think for me, we can brighten up put some positivity in the black tax issue. I said when you say black, it's always negative. That it, like Theo said, it has to be strategic. So if I see that...
But tell me the strategies.
The strategic part is I should not feel comfortable that I'm the only educated son. I'm the only one driving. I'm the only one living a good life. That should not be. I should not be comfortable. Whether my parents made those errors of having 10 children, that's where the key is. That what kind of support can you give to your family that gets them out of poverty?
So not
why people are knocking every day is because they have nothing. They're hungry. They want to eat. Even you, when you go, we had a story last time where we were talking about where you go and want to go bury your relative. Yeah. You find where they were living, and you go with your 4x4 with your Hilux. You find your brother was living in a ram shack. You feel bad because we are people. So for me, it's a strategic black tax is very critical. That, oh, you have failed to go to school, can you start a business? Okay, if you cannot read, can you maybe become a driver? Find you a driving job. So that they have a source of income. Then the pressure will be reduced. So I think that strategic black tax is important. What is bad is where now they make a living out of you on their daily basis, asking for, say, our birthday for my son. I need to take my wife for dinner, can you give me money? Then now that becomes a problem. It was I took you to school, so now you cannot even just give me money for me to buy cake for my son. That becomes a challenge.
I think that also restores dignity in the person seeking for help. I mean, I think my assumption is I think we all want to be self-sufficient. Nobody likes asking. And I think that also restores dignity within that particular person and individual. Is there any particular key message that maybe you would have to somebody who feels like, oh my God, I'm drowning, I can barely buy myself bread because I have all of these roles and responsibility? Like just one key message that you'd have to send out to the particular person.
I'm not sure what one key message that can be given, but I think I think that verse that I recited from the Quran, like, do not overburden yourself. I think that's the message that I can get. I think those people that drown are people who fail to say no, you know, to people when they come to them, you know, with a request. I think if we can learn to say no, not because we don't want to help, but because we are realistic about the fact that you cannot solve everybody's problems, then you're going to help yourself. But also, saying no also means that you can have the money, but you're saying, no, I'm not going to support your day-to-day operational things. You know, I have the money only to support your strategic issues. Like, so you want to go to school? I'll pay. You want to buy a laptop because it's going to help you, I'll do. You want me to speak to my friends so that they can give you a job, I'll do that. So I will help you,
so give you a platform,
but in things that are going to honor your dignity, so that then you can have an income. I will give you money in things that are going to help you be self-sufficient. But I will say no to things that I think are not going to add value to you. So that's the message that I would give to people.
Thank you so much, Tio. Mr. Ngosa?
I think for me, what we need to promote is family conversation. So if you are drowning, get the family together and have a conversation. Guys, here we are 10 of us. This one is struggling, how can we help them? That family conversation is very critical. That we can be sitting as a family and have conversations and say, I'm drowning, you are drowning me. The other day, this one wanted one question. Look, if I give everybody, I also have a wife, I have a family, I am drowning. Can we speak on how to find a solution? So that's why this family conversation podcast is very critical. Because we need to be having that family conversation so that people can be able to engage with each other and find family-centered solutions.
I like that, because then it preserves the family unit, preserves the dignity of the family, but also helps propel the family forward. I know we've been talking about our nuclear and extended families, but then also as we're growing and life is lifing, we pick up another set of families along the way, our friends, right? I have great friends. Hi guys. I have great friends, phenomenal friends, and we've stood by each other through so many things. Like, you need my help, let me hold your hand this time. Next time it's, let me hold your hand because now I'm steady. Like, how the concept of black tax in friendships. So there's one friend, maybe I held you down for a very long time when things were tough. Now you're doing well. You are buying your Range Rovers and you can't even help me. You can't support me. Or it's the other way around. Like, what are your thoughts about black tax when it comes to friendships?
Well, I mean, my message would be the same. Unfortunately, like for me, friends, siblings, family is just the same. I mean, like, if I've got a friend who comes to me for support, I will support them, you know, for so long as that support, you know, is going to move them from one stage, it's going to empower them. But if that support is, of course, I mean, like, you can give. I mean, people are going to come and say, you know what, you need a 500 kwacha, or, you know, and you know that you've got the space to help. I'm going to help for so long as I'm looking at the history. Has this person come before to ask? If somebody has not come to you and they come, you know, and they say all of a sudden, then obviously there's a problem.
There's a
like
need,
they need to be assisted.
Yeah.
But if it's going to be like, like a recurring, thing, then I need to put a stop to that. And then like Mr. Ngosa said, I should be able to sit down with this person and say, what is the problem? Like,
how can I support you?
How can I help you and everything. However, there was another aspect, of your question, which was assuming they begin now accusing you of like, no, now they've actually moved. Earlier on you had talked about Kanyama. Let's say we were staying in Kanyama.
Yeah, now you're
and this
staying
guy is
in
a
Kingsland.
friend. Yobe is my friend that I knew when we were staying in Kanyama
Exactly.
or in Chawama. Now, Yobe has moved to Kingsland, or I have moved, to Kabulonga. And then he starts now, saying, oh, Wanamba Kuzimvera, I can't do anything about that.
Yeah.
I mean, let him say whatever he's going to say, for so long as I'm very comfortable that I haven't done anything wrong. Like, I think, again, I might sound to be blunt, but you see, each one of us, should shoulder responsibility for their own growth. Like, I can't do anything to somebody who does not want to move in life. Yeah, I can't do, and I can't carry that burden.
Constantly,
Constantly, because then it's going to drown me, and I'm not going to be able to assist you. But if, I'm very comfortable with what I'm doing, and I know that I've assisted this person, and they haven't, taken advantage of my help, then what do I do? That's what I can say.
Mr. Ngosa, your thoughts?
Yeah. Like you said, Rose, I have good friends. I've helped friends, and a lot of friends have helped me in a number of ways. And one thing I've learned is that we've never had that obligations to each other. Like because they have made it. I have friends who have become ministers. If they're not picking up my call, it's not a big deal. Because they are busy. Maybe me, I'm less busy. That's fine. When they're out
less
of that,
busy, they'll call you.
We'll talk.
As is the case now. They are no longer ministers.
So now they'll call you back.
So I think it's just the type of friends that you have, that you work with. But they are friends, of course. I've had friends who have complained, now because he's doing well.
You're not answering.
Like I was saying, I have my wife and my children, that's enough problems. So my friend complaining is just another level, like we'll deal with that another level.
That's enough friends.
So I think that's even a bit far-stretched, but I have friends who feel entitled. Use the word, they feel entitled, maybe because they kept you at a low at your low time, and they feel like now is there. But those becomes just those that you can easily put aside and say,
But do you feel like if somebody kept you at your low times and they were there for a long time, do you feel like there's some sort of, maybe not long term, but like some sort of even small obligation to say thank you? Or maybe in your friendship dynamic that might not be the case, and maybe not even mine. But in some friendship circles, there might be that you couldn't even say thank you. You couldn't even buy me a postcard.
No, I'm a very thank you person. So the thank you they'll get. Like I'll say thank you, I'll check up on them. And I tell people sometimes that, just the thought, somebody to think about you and say, let me call, Felix to hear how he's doing. For me, that is more repayment than you even coming with money or giving me anything. And usually that's what I do with friends that I've treasured, that have helped me. They are friends that I keep close, that I can text once in a while. Hi, how are you doing? Let's catch up for coffee, let's catch up for a drink or something like that. If they are busy, at least I even tried. That's the best that I usually do to my friends.
Speaking of thank yous, what do you think is the best way that, let's say somebody, maybe you were growing up and you had this particular relative, maybe an aunt and uncle, sometimes they're abroad and they supported you through school, and obviously maybe they don't require financial assistance from you anymore. What are some of the best ways that people can say thank you to those people so they can feel like, are there any ways that the person can say thank you? Is my question basically.
Well, it depends again. Like, there are people who helped you, but they are fine. Like they do not.
They do not need your money or your assistance.
So I have to look at what maybe they want me to buy them a book, or not. They want me to buy them a book, but I think
they would appreciate
having a book, or they'll appreciate if I sent them some carpenter, because like Mr. Ngosa said, anything matters. Like even just a text message is going to help. But quickly, I wanted to say something. You cannot do, earlier on I had said, for me, siblings, friends are the same.
Yeah.
I think people, and this is now directed to, people that are following us. I think for me, people have to, like each one of us needs to look at whether your relatives or your friends as, your social safety net. People you can go back to
when
in
you
an
need
event
support.
that you need something. But for that to happen, you need to invest in them. Whether it's your relatives or your friends. Like, what would make Mr. Ngosa, for example, as my friend, want to assist me if I've not invested in our
that
friendship?
dynamic, yeah.
It means, therefore, that I should be prepared if he's got a problem for me to stand, and support him.
Yeah.
So our support, our engagement, so when I'm helping him, I'm not helping him to help me back.
Yeah.
When I'm helping my sibling, I'm not helping my sibling to help me back. But I'm just saying, in an event, if they are empowered, in an event that I've got a problem, they will help
They can
me.
go back.
That's the same thing that I would do with my wife.
Yeah.
Like, I will help my wife, not just because she's my wife, but I'm thinking life is all about ups and downs.
Yeah.
There will be a moment where, as a breadwinner, I might be down there. Things are not going fine. If she's empowered, she's going to be able to support, and then I'm going to go through. So you can imagine, I can rely on my wife, I can rely on my siblings, I can rely on my friends. So that is the way I think we need to look at, this whole issue. But however, if my friends want to exploit me, if my siblings want to exploit me, or even my wife wants to exploit me, I should be able to say no. I mean, this is not okay. This is not fair.
No, thank you so much. I think our conversation has probably sparked some ideas, questions, and maybe even courage for some of our viewers and listeners. So thank you again. Thank you guys so much for joining me. This has been such a wonderful segment, very short and sweet. And thank you so much to our listeners for tuning in on the very first episode of Family Conversations. Again, I have been your host, Rose Mwandila. It's been a pleasure having you on, and looking forward to seeing you on the second episode.